Hi everyone, my name is Rose and welcome to my channel. So every week I'm going to be uploading a little sew along so you can kind of see the design process behind my makes. And this week we are actually making something a little different than what I'm used to. So we're going to be creating some little dresses for my nieces for Christmas. So I kind of compiled a little Illustrator mood board to kind of get the inspiration going. What I want to do is kind of create little dress up dresses. These are not like Christmas dresses or like anything super finished. I just wanted something to be like little fairy dresses, something just to spark like some creativity and fun in their little wardrobe. So first we need to go fabric shopping. So that is on top of the list. And then we're gonna go from there. So if you like my content, please subscribe or share with a friend, and let's get to sewing. Saturday mornings, Utrecht always has this amazing fabric market, so I decided to go to this little booth, and they had the most beautiful fabrics to work with here. So I found what I needed and on my way. And we were able to score some pretty great finds. So this was actually my last purchase, this little rosette kind of fabric here. So we're working with netting regardless. So this one is going to be, this I think is going to have to be a sewn project. Otherwise I have this nice little mesh as well. This is like a light pink. I also have this like bright pink, which is for my niece Gemma. She's a little spunky, so I think she needed a really bright pink for that. And then I also have this beautiful lavender. It's like a light rose kind of lavender color. This one is going to be for my niece Paula. So we're going to start with Paula's. I have her Christmas present. She has to, I'm giving her Christmas present first. So with that being said, the first version is actually going to be almost a no-sew project. So what you will need, I have about 2 meters. I'm actually going to cut it in long strips, probably about 2 to 3 inches wide. And it's going to be long, and you're going to kind of like loop it over fabric. So I'm going to create, let me see if I can create a nice little like bow for it to tie around. We'll get into some more detail. So I'll kind of cut something like this width. This is going to go like around here, like that. And then you're gonna take the strips and loop it over this. And it's gonna go all the way out. And it's gonna be nice and puffy like that inspiration image from my mood board. So starting with Paula, let's get to it. So the first step I did here was I folded the fabric in half height-wise, but I also feel like I should have maybe folded in half 1 or 2 additional times, but I was really trying to pay attention to like the fabric laying flat on the table because I didn't want uneven cuts. I then went in and took my 2-inch ruler and just created all of these little markings lengthwise or up and down, you can see here in the blue. And then I went in and cut it. So then you have all of these tiny strips, and then we're ready to start our dress. So I removed all of the selvages because we don't need that in our skirts or dress pattern. And then I'm lengthening out the whole length of the thing. So I had kind of folded it to make it easier and quicker, less cutting technically. So this is about 47 inches. So here's a fold here, which I'm going to cut. And then it's technically going to be folded like so. The finished length of the dress is going to be about 24 inches. I found this, honestly, I just want to make this like super sparkly and really fun and very girly. I have this super sparkly fabric. I'm pretty obsessed with this. So my stepmom is actually a dressmaker, and she works in a lot of alterations. So this is actually the hem of a very sparkly dress. So what I'm going to do with this here is I'm actually going to create the little top portion here. So this is going to be here. And then we're going to be taking this and kind of looping it up and around like this. So I'm first going to kind of create a finished waistband here. This is going to also tie in a bow in the back so that it can tighten to the length that she needs for around the chest. And then also as she grows older, she can also wear it as a tutu when she gets a little bit taller. So let's do that. I'm going to create a proper finished waistband for this. In addition, I just did some prep work here by cutting all of the loops in half so they are the correct finished length. So here I'm just finding the width that I want for the strap to be, and I'm cutting it and prep to sew. I also made some cute little dainty straps with this as well. Okay, so I made the top strap. So I just put the safety pin here. I'm gonna flip this inside out, and then I'm also gonna use this fabric to create some small little dainty straps for your shoulders so you can tie it in a bow and make it adjustable. So, I mean, it's really hard to not work with a fit model who's currently here. This is a surprise for her. So I wanted to fit her just perfectly, and having these things adjustable like this for the back and then also for your shoulders is really perfect. So this dress is going to be also obviously a little bit see-through. So what you would wear underneath it is maybe some leggings, maybe a cute little shirt, a t-shirt. This would look really cute with this design. All right, so let's flip this inside out, create the little straps for your shoulders, and let's begin making our little tutu. Here we go. So I'm starting with all of that prepared fabric, and I'm just looping it around the belt here. So I threw it on the dress form just so it's a bit easier for myself. I'm pretty much just looping it up and around, and then I'm gathering them together. I'm pushing them together slightly. I also found this little floral netting fabric in my fabric stash as well. So I thought, why not use it? And I was able to separate it into a few different sections. And here we are so far. Okay, so this is kind of actually looking really cute. So what I think I need to do is I think I need to go and buy a few more yards of this color. So I'm gonna do that this weekend. In the meantime, I use that really, there you go. You can see all the sparkles here. So I used it here as a strap. It's also gonna come around the back. So in theory, you're gonna have this really cute little adjustable bow on top, like so. And then this is gonna be nice and poofy. So this is one, and now we're gonna move on to the next one because I still need to go get some more material this weekend. So let's move on to this guy. So we're going to start with this one, or move on to this one really. So this one, I think I also got about 2 meters. I'm going to cut it in half. These are itty bitty girls, like the Paula is 4, and then the rest are younger than her. So everybody else is shorter. So I kind of saw a chart online about like the length and across here for each age for girls. So I'm roughly following that. But a lot of the girls that I'm making these dresses for, they're quite petite. So I want to make things a little shorter. That may be why you can also have like a little bit more flair, which might be really fun. And I also am making everything adjustable so that it can kind of grow with their age. So moving on to this one, let's cut it in half and start assembling the dress. So first up here, I'm cutting it in half lengthwise so I can make 2 dresses from this. The next step I'm moving on to is sewing that side seam. So I want the side seam to be sewn first, and then we're going to roll over the top edge. Next step is to turn under the seam allowance for the elastic or the strap at the top. So here I am, I'm just doing that, and then I'm going in and trimming. This is with a raw edge.
I decided to also go in and utilize this scrap fabric for the straps for this dress. So here I am preparing that.
Also, for right now, I'm flipping all of these 4 shoulder straps. So initially I had them a little bit wider, but I realized these are little kids. They're little tiny girls. So this would probably be wide for them. So I'm going to keep this a little bit more on the narrow side. It was going to be like double the width, if you can tell. That's quite wide. That's a little bit too much on your shoulders for the girls. So I'm making it half the width, and it's still gonna have a cute little bow, and it's still gonna probably look pretty full for them when they're wearing it. So I still have 3 more to go, and then I'm going to do this version with that elastic on the top. And then also it has like a little scallop on the bottom, and I'm just gonna cut off the additional lace on the bottom because we don't need it. So I wanted to have that cute little scallop. Anyway, let's get back to it.
After trimming down the extra seam allowance or the raw edges, I'm just going in and adding, I think this is 1.125" of that elastic all the way through the top edge, and then just securing it by doing like a little square when overlapping the elastic. For the hem, I thought it would be super cute to trim away all of the extra hemming kind of on the bottom so that it is like a more scalloped edge. So I'm just getting rid of the additional tulle. I could really use some new scissors. So maybe that's going to be part of my Christmas present to myself this year.
Okay, cool. So right where we left off, right here. So we have this gal, and I'm gonna go in, let's say here, and a little close in. I guess it doesn't, like, the closer in, it wouldn't really affect someone wearing it. However, if it's like too far apart, then it can like fall off their shoulders. So I'm gonna go a little bit closer together. So also I press the center of the seam at the center back. So you're really gonna see this part when it's flipped up. So I'm gonna do this now. Here we are, and let's add the strap.
Are you clinging on to every last?
So this is just a little sneak peek of what this dress turned out for both little pieces, for both dresses. So I decided to use different materials for both. One has more of a cotton strap, while the other is utilizing the pink tulle. I really love this, especially with the little fairy lights behind it. It really just felt so magical.
Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of sewing these cutie pie little dresses for my nieces. So today I'm working on the final one, or so I say, because I do have extra fabric, and I am kind of toying with the idea of adding additional colors to this, because I really don't want to go back to the fabric market just for one thing. And I do think that the other colors are kind of complementary to this. So it could be just kind of this like fairy, colorful, pink, purple, fun little cute dress. So we'll see. I'm also playing with the idea of using the last one as like a multi-tiered ruffled little tutu dress kind of a thing. So let's see, we're playing around with it. Sewing for other people has always been kind of challenging for me. I think I always, first of all, I stem from like this like fear of someone absolutely hating something I make, which is possible, or like it's not fitting them, which has happened a few times. Like I'm guessing someone's size. Like I made also another little dress for my niece, and it obviously it just fit her, but she wouldn't be able to take it on to the next year. So it's really hard to kind of guess someone's measurements and see if something works for them. So that's like internally like my little fear. So I'm trying to create like little backup things, like other things that they could wear if this turns out terrible. One of these ideas is using this for one other cool little make. So kind of creating maybe the same silhouette, or I also have this pattern that I use quite often for little kids. It's this romper that I had purchased, and I continue to reuse at least like the top portion, because you can create like a cute little ruffled dress. So I might use that top, create this in that little top, and then add a few tiers, because I think that would be like the better use of this material instead of kind of going this route, because it doesn't have that stiffness, sturdiness to the fabric itself to give it that fairiness that I wanted in this. So in that case, I'm gonna leave that for last, and I'm kind of just playing with it in my head, seeing if this would be an option, and trying to assess also like the other materials I still have and like what I can work with. In the meantime, let's continue with this, because I'm going to sew it down, create a little tunnel, and I'm also going to use the other, not this color, but it's a little bit lighter pink, and I'm going to create a nice little bow to go tunneling through this, so it's going to be tied at the back, and then you're going to have also nice little ties also here on the shoulders. Okay, so my other idea is working out way better. So actually this is what I completed. So it's pretty much the same technique. However, instead of using elastic on the inside for this guy, I use just this extra tooling that I was initially gonna make a dress with. And instead I'm using it as like little trim, for now at least. Next dress. I've decided to change it up. This is going to be like the larger tier, and this is about, let's see, it is about 10 inches, and then I've created a smaller one as well. Smaller one is going to go on the bottom, and I'm going to also, I think I can not cut it in half. Let's see. I'm gonna just keep this maybe as is, make it a little bit smaller, maybe cut off just a bit, because the bottom is the same length, and I kind of want the bottom shorter ruffle to be double the width of this, so that it has a really nice ruffled technique. I'm adding a top panel, I believe, or maybe it's also just like a tubing, just to keep it a little bit more simple. And maybe I'll keep it the same. We'll see. I'm going with it. Going with the flow.
Create an easy, quick ruffle. I just tighten the tension on my sewing machine, and I'm sewing on a straight stitch, and it's gathering perfectly.
Okay, so I'm liking this so much better. So here we are. This is like the top tier. I haven't decided if I'm adding a little bodice onto this, but what we're going to do is add this smaller ruffle on the bottom. So it's just going to be this like really big, voluminous little dress that also can be worn as a skirt later. I also found that I have this bright pink. It's pretty almost identical to the actual fabric here. So maybe I'll end up using this somewhere, just maybe either even reinforcing the seams. And then I'm also realizing, like, if I don't want to add a ruffle, like a bodice in this, I do have some pink fabric as well. So maybe I just mix a bunch of fabrics. Well, let's see. So this is what we're left with. Like so. It looks like one of the dresses in my inspiration board. And it's really beautiful. So I actually kind of like it just like this. So we're not going to overcomplicate it. I'm not going to add the top because I'm just worried that it's going to be so complicated and tiny. So we're not gonna add a top. We're just gonna add maybe like a little elastic casing as well on the top, and then some little straps like we have here. And kind of keep this consistent shaping here. I think it would be really cute if it's paired with like a little white tee underneath, or also a little pink and leggings. And that's the purpose of this dress. It's obviously not supposed to be worn without anything underneath. And it's just for like, you know, when you're little and you have that little toy chest. This is what I had. I had a little toy chest filled with these like really beautiful vintage pieces. I think they're all like my grandmother's like shawls. Some shawls and like just cute little pieces. And my mom gave them to me, and now I have nothing. So that was a bad decision. But it also sparked my passion for fashion, passion for sewing and creating beautiful pieces. So pretty thankful. So I kind of hope that this also like sparks joy, obviously, hopefully, because they're all like pink, and hopefully everybody loves them. And I think it will have the same impact on these little girls. So I'm pretty excited about them. Let's continue.
To create the waistband, I am just laying some of the bright pink tooling over some cotton. I think it's really important to use the cotton to stabilize the top. I think this also really will help to make it more strong, which is the biggest goal for this. I sewed the strap and added the bows, and this is the finished product. I really love it. I think this is just what I was aiming for. It feels so nice and airy and magical. I absolutely love how this came out, and I hope that all the girls love them as well. So they're all a little different and unique. Not everyone is identical. And I hope you're inspired to make something like this as well. I hope this was useful. I hope you guys have a really nice day and happy holidays.